morning, YouTube. Fisker is dead.
Officially?
It is died, it is gone, it is dead.
It sounds so, like, deep and demonic.
Finally filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy after everybody wondering when, and we've talked about it a lot. Yeah, it's happened. They're gone.
I'm sad, though. I just feel like there's so many kind of companies trying to ride the EV train, and I wanted them to win and want them to come through. So there's competition. So not one is, like, monopolizing everyone.
Oh, there's plenty of them out there, and I've actually compiled a list of the few that I think are next. Most likely to go next. But we'll cover Fisker's a small rise and massive fall here, because first of all, they wanted to go the route of selling through dealers.
Right.
So I believe they probably sold the franchise rights to dealerships across the country and collected a check there.
Right.
They took the company public, collected a check there, took investments in, collected a check there, and then it was time to start building cars, and boy, they were designed beautifully. They look really nice, but the execution of it, just like the last Fisker car that I have, a 2012 Fisker car, the execution wasn't all that great. The principle, the design, all good, and
have you seen the ocean in person?
Never seen the ocean in person.
Because photographs, like, everything looks different.
Right.
Girls, models, everything looks different in photographs and in real life.
Well, you look better in real life. I mean...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But the Fisker Ocean, I think it looks so cool. So I'm wondering, like, what happened? Because it was just with the solar top and just the design of it and the features that they were coming out with. I was surprised.
Well, it was all super buggy. So the screen flips both ways, and that was laggy. So many issues that if you watch Marques Brownlee's video, where he says the worst car he ever reviewed, and they say that's what tanked the company itself. No, it's the product that tanked the company itself, and the bad execution, and then obviously some shady things probably going on behind the scenes to where there wasn't any money to prop up while you're starting out this car company. It's always interesting when a car comes out and then it just immediately flops. Like you would think that there'd be enough to go for a few years to develop that customer base, to work through the bugs and still be able to survive, but that's not the case with that Lordstown in Ohio, not the case with Fisker apparently. So you want to know my list of cars most likely to go next?
I feel like you're like a serial killer, and this is your like murder list.
Who's gonna die?
That's ready for the next one. All right, what's your list?
Well, so this one I'm giving sort of like a 90% chance.
Okay.
And that is Polestar.
Oh no.
So it's an offshoot or Volvo's brand that has gone electric, but Polestar is 100% Chinese owned, like Volvo, and unlike a lot of Volvos where they're built in Sweden, the Polestar 2 was engineered and developed mostly by Swedes, but it's built in China.
Right.
So when those tariffs come about, that they're talking about, a 20 to 100% tariff on Chinese-built cars from a Chinese-owned company, even though the name isn't Chinese, 100% over, double the price, nobody's going to buy them. They're going to give up and pull out of the United States, most likely.
Can their sales in China keep them afloat?
Oh, I'm not talking about bankruptcy. I'm talking about leaving the United States, which was they're going to fail. Sort of like Suzuki is still around in the rest of the world, but they pulled out of the United States. They gave up.
Got it.
So I think Polestar will definitely do that.
Right.
That I feel like is a very, very likely scenario. The next one I feel like is probably 80-90% likely is VinFast.
Okay.
The Vietnamese electric car company, they have sold 265 cars. That was last year.
Right.
And they had 3,000 brought into the United States for sale. So that's not very good.
That's really bad, actually.
No,
that's
no.
terrible.
And then there's several listed used that were traded in. People bought them for a little while, hated them. And you can buy, there's many for about half off that you can buy that are just barely used cars.
Right, okay.
And then my final one is Lucid.
What? Really? Lucid?
Lucid, the cars are way, way, way too expensive. There's so much competition within Tesla, within any luxury automaker that has any kind of legacy to it at all, buying a Mercedes, buying anything. Jaguar, I feel like, would be on this list too, probably by the end of the decade, since they're switching to all electric. I don't think anybody's going to buy that. But there's just so much competition, and they've sold 1,700 cars in the fourth quarter of last year, and that's 10% less. New company trying to grow. They're already lagging in sales.
I mean, I would say they did a really good job marketing because they're cool. I feel like the name Lucid carries some weight in the car world, and I'm sad that they're going to go. But driving it, when we drove the Lucid Air, was a couple years old Lucid Air, wasn't as luxurious as I thought it would be.
Right, as far as definitely the materials and everything felt
Right.
really nice, but the driving experience wasn't that luxurious. It felt very sporty. But one part of a luxury ownership experience is providing good service to your customers when there's issues, and Lucid has really dropped the ball on that, keeping customers happy, keeping the cars running. It's been a big problem. And then, of course, there's the whole political climate and people sort of being anti-Saudi Arabia, sort of like they're anti-China, and seeing like Saudi just put $1 billion of investment into this company to prop it up, and that was a big headline. And I feel like a lot of luxury car buyers are going to go, it's a little, not that they're buying EVs in the first place, a lot of people that are buying Mercedes S-Classes and 7 Series and all that stuff. So where's the buyer for the Lucid? I don't know if there is anybody. And then, of course, like we covered, the massive depreciation. So, yeah, you buy it for $150,000 and in a year it's half. That's a tough pill to swallow. Just like Neelix is chewing on the wires on the Good Morning YouTube set. Really?
Is it that bad, Neelix? I feel like she thinks that you don't care about her, and then so she's like trying to kill herself.
It's an electrified cat now. Okay. Other than the wires in the back, are you curious what is the best-selling electric cars in the U.S. right now?
Yeah.
Well, number 10 on the list, Tesla Model X. Quarter 1 2024 sales 5,607, so that's 2% of the market share.
Is this going to be a list of all Teslas, like the different models?
Well, no, it's a lot on here, but basically 2 to 3% market share on the 7 out of 10 cars here. Number 9 is the Cadillac Lyriq. The Lyriq.
The Lyriq, which we have and we've been driving, and it's a great car.
It is. It has a few
really
little
nice.
bugs, but yeah, we can take it to the Cadillac dealer if we need any service to it. It's it's been a wonderful, joyous vehicle to own.
Joyous.
Joyous, yes.
It has good sound deadening.
Yeah, we're kind of learning new features on the Lyriq as we go, and that
Right.
active noise canceling is pretty cool. Very quiet on the highway. It actually makes a big difference. A way to cheat sort of on like insulation, I suppose, like having the headphone technology in the car.
Well, it's also
pretty cool.
good for guys. I feel like especially like on your first couple dates, because there's a very serious issue that guys can have if you like go out to dinner or something with a girl and you're in the car for a while. And well, we learned this, right? At the drive-in.
You're bringing that up?
Yeah.
So at the drive-in, I kind of overindulge.
Right.
And yeah, I ate a pretzel, I ate a cheeseburger, I ate Twizzlers, the pretzel with nacho cheese. What else? Popcorn.
Yes.
And what I don't normally do anymore, a big old Diet Pepsi. And that made me very gassy. And so in the middle of the movie, which was Bad Boys Ride or Die, which we did very much enjoy, I needed to get out of the Lyriq.
You like storm out of the car, and I thought someone was like
I was
coming
having
up
horrible
to the
gas
car.
cramps.
So, and I thought there was something wrong. Like I thought some security guard was coming up, and you're like, I'm going to handle this. And then you just stood next to the car. But the sound deadening is so great, that noise, active noise cancellation, where I couldn't hear what was going on outside.
Oh, it was a full butt trumpet. Like just, I mean, probably a solid 30, 45 seconds of just blowing ass that I did not want to do. You know, obviously when you have a supermodel fiance, you don't want to do that in front of her.
Gosh, stop it.
So I exited the vehicle, stood outside for a while, and the stress, the relief of the gas happened, and then I got back in the car, and you didn't hear a thing.
I didn't hear a thing. So thank you, Lyriq, for that added feature.
Yeah, we're learning all kinds of new things about the Lyriq.
All right, what's next on the list?
Okay. The Volkswagen ID4, 6,167 sold. Interesting. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Ioniq, that's the
Ioniq?
IQ things are like messing me up. Those are really cool looking cars.
Yeah.
6,822 sold. The Chevy Bolt EVs and EUVs, 7,000 of those sold.
Yeah.
Even though I think they just quit making them. They just pulled that out, right? Did they pull the plug on the Bolt? Yes, they did. Jake gave me the nod.
Yes.
So yeah, even though they had a pretty good market share of 2.6%, they gave up on that. Probably not making any money. Ford F-150 Lightning, big bump when they lowered the price. 7,700 sold Q1. Rivian R1S. So Rivian's on here on the top 4. 8,000 sold. The Mustang Mach-E, another one where they lowered the price and sold a lot, 9,589
Wow.
sold. But then it jumps a lot. Tesla Model 3,
Right.
30,000 sold.
Well, okay.
11% of all EVs sold in the U.S. are Tesla
Right.
Model 3s.
Right.
And then the Tesla Model Y is number one, 96,000 sold
they're
in the first
killing
quarter.
it.
35% of EVs sold on the road are Tesla Model Ys.
Okay, so they know what they're doing,
So
right?
say what you will about Tesla. They are selling a ton of electric cars. So you're accounting for basically half of EV sales in the US right now coming from Tesla.
Right. Well, I mean, Elon knows what he's doing. He's built a lot of businesses, and Tesla is still on top right now. Did that make you a little nauseous, that statement? You're swaying
Maybe.
and moving around.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
But it will be interesting to see if Tesla can reign supreme with that market share because, the Mach-E, they just lowered the price to make it competitive with the Model Y. Before that, nothing could really touch the Model Y's price. So now that they got the Mach-E to where it makes sense, people are buying that. The Ford Lightning versus the Cybertruck. That'll be interesting because Cybertruck sales haven't really been reported yet. Will that really kill Lightning sales? Will that kill Rivian sales because everybody's getting into the Cybertruck or not? And I find the Tesla Model X interesting how it being in the bottom of the top 10 because it is so expensive that nobody's buying them in comparison to a Model 3, Model Y, and I'm curious how far down the Model S is because it is super long in the tooth. Will they redesign it? Will they even bother because people aren't really wanting sedans? Are they going to do like a big SUV or talk about a cyber van?
Ooh, what about the Volkswagen van electric one coming out?
Oh, yeah, that'll be a big deal. I want one of those.
Yeah.
I actually sent the email over to Volkswagen and their thing that I'm interested in, want to buy it, and we'll see what that process is. I mean, anything will be better than the wait for the Cybertruck and the process of buying it. I can't imagine it being worse than that.
But the VW van, like with is it going to have Safari windows?
I think they're just doing the big glass roof like everybody, but no.
We could always convert it to that. Those are so cool.
Yes, the retro styling and everything else. Big, bloated, funky retro van.
How cool would that be? They're meant... Oh, you're calling her bloated now. It's poor pregnant kitty cat. You're calling her fat.
Yeah.
But that'd be great. That VW bus, pretty much for camping, that's what they're for. And now you can run electricity off of it like your own generator while you're camping. That'd be a great idea.
We still won't camp.
No,
we'll find the nearest hotel. Yeah, and if you're interested in a kitten, well, we're going to figure out how to get rid of these things. It's got to be close.
Get rid of them?
Well, I mean, give them away.
What are you trying to look inside her butt to see if they're coming?
No, I'm not. Thank you so much for watching.